Today, we're linking products together like variants. So you see these variant options here? Well, when you click on it, it changes the variant, right? But these ones here are different. When you click on it, it takes you to a different product instead. There's a few different reasons why you might want this. One reason could be because you want to organize your products and collection pages in a certain way. For example, let's say you want each color to show up in your collections. To do this, they need to be separate products, but without this customization, you won't see those other options on the product page like you see here. Another reason could be that you're over the 100 variant limit. With clothing, it's actually really easy to go over when you consider all the different sizes and colors that you might have for your product. But a quick note, Shopify recently announced last month in their Winter 24 edition that they are rolling out support for up to 2,000 variants per product. So that 100 variant limit is going away, but it hasn't quite rolled out yet. So until then, this is one way we can get around it. In my opinion, I think this is a really cool feature and it isn't available by default in Shopify. So I'll show you how to add it to your store. So this video is actually adding some cool upgrades to our previous video on linking products together as variants that were requested by you. So thank you for these requests and ideas. You guys are a really smart bunch. Keep them coming. Just prompt us in the comments below. And if you find these tutorials helpful, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe. It really does help us grow this channel and keep making free tutorials like this. All right, let's link these products together. We're going to start with a quick demo of this customization and how to use it and take a look at its features. And then once we're done with that, we'll actually get into how to add this to your store. Okay, so this is our demo store here. And you can see here we've got 4 different variant option styles, right? So color, size, garment style, design style. Typically on Shopify, you actually only get 3 options, and we see here we have 4. But as you know from the introduction, some of these are not actually variants. So if we go blue, green, red, this will change the variant. And then we can also change the size of the variant. But if we go to the garment style and choose the long sleeve tee, you can see here loading a completely different product. Sorry, and we can go to these different colors in here. But you can see down here that we've now gone to long sleeve tee, which is our different product. And now we can go over to hoodie, right? Again, it takes us to a different product, but it looks like just another variant option. So let's go back to t-shirt. And you can see here we also have a second option here. So we can go to text, and it'll take us to a text style t-shirt chip. It'll give us a computer chip on our t-shirt. But you don't see that other option because this product here only has the option for the design style, and it doesn't have the garment style like this t-shirt does here. So this is what the customer will see, right? They'll see different variant options. It'll look like a variant option to them, but it's actually taking them to a different product. So let's go to the theme editor. We can see here we are on the product page, product information, and we've got these different blocks here. So garment style picker, product grouping picker. And the way we've added this here is through this custom block here, product grouping picker. So we can add that in there. And if we just drag this up, you can see here that we've got this grouping available. But we've already added that in there. So let's just take this back out and go into one of them. First, we have the name of this option. So we can actually name it so we can differentiate between 2 different pickers if we have more than one. Next, we have the style. So we can choose drop down or pills. This is actually the same styles that you see in the standard variant picker, right? Drop down or pills. But with version 13 of Dawn, you have the option to select swatch, which hasn't really fully been rolled out yet. So we haven't included that in our product grouping picker yet. But once the swatches get released, then we'll add that back in. So now next we have the label. So right now it says garment style. We can remove the garment, right? And it'll change that there. Or you can really type any name you want. But let's just bring this back to garment style. And then you've got these 2 metafield keys here. The first one will identify the grouping. So in this case, it's garment style. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to say, well, these products are the ones that are supposed to be connected together. So this t-shirt, this long sleeve tee, this hoodie, and it's going to point to those different products. The second one here is for the label of the button itself. So in your t-shirt product here, it's going to be reading this t-shirt value, and then it's going to be placing it on the pill, or in the drop down, it's going to be the label in the drop down menu. So those are the settings we have in our product grouping picker, and we've got a second picker with the same settings. We've just used different values here, right? So in this case, we'll be using two different metafield keys, and we'll have a different label to differentiate these two pickers. Let's change this back to pills. Okay, so now let's take a look at the product admin. So this is the product that we were just looking at in our theme editor. And if we scroll down to our metafields area, we can see here we've got these 4 different metafields. So we'll just focus on these 2 here because this is product grouping option 1, value, and product grouping option 1. So these are the 2 metafield keys that we were looking at right here, right? Product grouping option 1, product grouping option 1 value. So it's pointing to these 2 values here. So in this case, it shows t-shirt, right? So if we change this to, let's say, T and saved it, then when we refresh our page, you're going to see here it changes to T, right? So let's refresh here. You'll see here that it shows T. That's what that grouping option 1 value represents. Okay, so next we have the product grouping option. In this case, it's actually pointing to the meta object entry. So we can actually open this up and it takes us here. And so we've defined right here the 3 products that are being connected together, right? So that's the t-shirt, the long sleeve, and the hoodie. And that's these 3 products that we're looking at here. These 3 are being grouped together. And you can even change the order that you want them to show. So let's say the hoodie comes up above the long sleeve. We can save that. And if we refresh, you can see here that the order has been changed. Okay, so let's change that back to the way it was. All right, so that's the basics of how to use this customization. You can really set up your groupings any way you want, right? So in this case, we have garment style, we have design style, but you can make it on color. You can make it really for anything you want. And this is great because everyone has different types of products and you can make it work for you. And you can also even add more than one, right? So if you have multiple dimensions that you want to group together, you have that possibility as well. Okay, so let's add this to your store. So we've just installed a fresh version of Dawn. So this is Dawn version 13. And we can go see the actual site here. The additional product grouping pickers have been removed, right? So we no longer have that in our theme. And we've also removed all of the meta objects and meta fields that were in our store previously, just so that I can show you how to add those back in. Now, if you're not using a new install of a theme and are upgrading an existing one, just make sure you duplicate your theme first, just in case anything goes wrong. You can always revert back to the previous version. Okay, so let's start off by adding a meta object. So we go to settings, custom data, and then add definition. So we're going to call this one our product grouping option 1 entries. And we're going to create a single line text. We'll call this the grouping name. We'll add. And then we're going to make this second one a list of products. And let's call this product grouping. Some of these names are going to be important because the code looks for it. So I suggest you follow the names as I'm laying out in this video. Okay, so now let's save. And we can head back out And we're going to go to the product metafield now. And now we're going to create a second metafield. We're going to call this product grouping option 1 value. And then it's going to be type single line text. And we'll save. All right, so now let's set up the meta objects and metafield. First, we're going to create the meta object entries. So if you go to content meta objects, you can see your definition here, and we can click in and add entry. So the grouping name will be, let's say, the product that you're grouping together. So in our case, it'll be the prompted original. Okay, and we're going to look for products, and we're going to do the prompted original. And in our case, we're going to be using these products as variants demo versions of our products. So this one, and this one. So you just have to know in advance which products you want to group together and just select those ones. And so that's what we're doing here. And then I'm going to reorder them so that they show up the way I want and save. Okay, so now we can head over to our products. So we can just even click right here and it'll take us to our product. And we can scroll down to the bottom and we can select our value. So in this case, we are grouping different garment types, right? So it's got t-shirt, we've got a hoodie, we've got long sleeve. So we're going to label this one as the t-shirt. And this one, we're going to select entry. We've got our prompted original. So there we go. And we've set those two up. We can now save. And now let's just quickly do the rest, right? So we've got the long sleeves and we got the hoodie. Okay, so now if we refresh our meta object entry, we'll see that this meta object entry is now referenced by our 3 products. Okay, so now that we've set up our meta object and meta field, we now need to go on to the next step. It still isn't going to show up on our product page because we actually haven't made any updates to our theme code yet, which is our next step. Now, don't worry if you don't know how to code. I'll give you all the steps that you need so that you can still do this. Like I mentioned earlier, duplicate your theme just in case anything goes wrong. You can always go back to your old version. But what we're going to do now is we're going to edit code. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new snippet. So if we can close our templates folder here and open up snippets, add a new snippet. And we're going to call this product grouping picker custom dot liquid. Okay, so we're now going to copy and paste our code and just place it in there and we can save. And we can now go to the main product.liquid file. And we're going to search for the existing variant picker. And we're just going to place our custom picker right underneath there. So we'll just copy and paste our code right here. So this is going to render the custom product grouping picker that we just created here. Okay, so we now need to add some settings. So what we can search for is this variant picker. So we can control F and then have variant picker here and click next. And it'll take us down into the settings area. So this is the schema right here, schema, which identifies all the settings for each of the blocks in our main dash product section, right? So if we come back to our settings, our theme settings, and go to our product, this is the product information section, right? That's this file we're looking at. And these settings here are for the settings that we see in each of these blocks. So if you go to variant picker, you can see here these settings. Okay, so we're going to actually just go underneath our variant picker. We can create some spaces here and copy and paste our additional settings. And we can just save. And now if we come back to our theme editor and just refresh, if we add block, you're going to see here now product grouping picker is available. Before it wasn't, but it is now because we've just added the code to create this block. So let's add this in, and we can drag it up, place it wherever you like. I'm going to place it underneath our existing picker, but you can also even put it above. So right now you do not see it because this product doesn't have any groupings associated with it. But if we change our product to the products as variants demo, so we can choose this one here, you can see here it shows up. Grouping 1, t-shirt, long sleeves, hoodie. We can even move this above if you like, right? So you can change its location. And now we can update some of its settings. So here, instead of grouping 1, we can call this garment type. And we like this as pills, so we're not going to change that. And we're just going to say this is the garment type picker. And we can save, refresh our page, and we've got our new variant pickers here, garment type, that will take you to our different products. And so that's basically it. Now, if you want another product grouping picker, right? So before we had garment type, we had design. So you just need to go back to your admin, settings, custom data, and then we would create another meta object definition and another 2 product metafields. So it's exactly the same steps as we did previously when creating the meta objects and metafields, but you would just kind of do it again, right? So we'd add definition, and I'm just going to quickly make the meta objects and metafields just so that you can see. Okay, so now that we've added our meta object and 2 metafields, we can define the meta object entry again. So we can come back out, and we're going to select product grouping option 2 entries, and we create our new grouping. So we can call this t-shirt grouping, t-shirt design grouping, let's say. And we're going to select our products. Right, so we're going to look at t-shirts, and we're going to start with our products as variants demo, right? So that same product is going to be grouped in 2 different ways. And let's add our chip t-shirt and text t-shirt. Okay, so we'll add that in, and let's maybe do it this way with the changing the order. We can save. And now let's update each one of these products. So I'm just going to open up these as new tabs. And then we just update our metafields. So this one is the original. And we can select our entry. This one is the text. And this one is the chip. And now that we've updated our products, we can go back to our theme editor and add a new block. So again, product grouping picker. And let's say we are going to put this one underneath the default variant picker. Shows up here. By default, it's going to go to option 1, but we can just change this to 2, right, for both keys. And then now it's going to pull the original text and chip grouping that we just made. We'll call this design. and then we can save. And now if we refresh our page, we have the design that's been added as a grouping. And if we go to text, we'll go to our new product, right? Chip, our chip product. Now, if some of you have a really large catalog and you want to start grouping lots of these together, you can actually do some of these actions in bulk. Now, creating these meta object entries could be done in bulk using a tool like Matrixify, so long as you know which ones you want to group together, because they have the option to create meta object entries. And then when it comes to updating your individual products, you can also still use Matrixify or even something like Hexstum bulk product edit to mass edit your metafields. And so you don't have to necessarily do this one by one, although I would suggest doing it at least a few one by one so you have a feel for how to group these things together. And then once you know how you want to organize these products on your store, then you can do everything in bulk. So there we have it. We've now linked together multiple products together as variants. Whether it's because you want to get past the 100 variant limit or it's because you like the way you can organize your products, um, this is going to be a great solution for you. So, unlike our first version, though, this one is flexible enough so that you can choose any variant type to group together and just gives you the option to manage it from the theme editor as well. So if you found this tutorial helpful, just hit that subscribe button. It really does help us a lot. Anyway, that's it for today. See you in the next one.